like this episode, maybe just not as much as the other episodes. Also, Daryl, make a move already. We know you want to. So cutely enough, this episode 6, was called Bonds, and we see the bonds between multiple characters. Also, we see Eugene trying to create a bond with the woman over the radio, and rightfully, she's distrustful. If she's survived this long in the apocalypse, she knows that humans are a huge threat and a danger, and she's probably been fucked over at least once by another human being. I mean, there's a reason why study after study shows how easy it is for humans to be violent towards each other under pretty much any condition. So I would imagine the post-apocalypse would help humans who already act like garbage towards each other anyways do it more so. So I hope they continue to make a bond and she eventually trusts him. I'd like to see some newcomers, personally. Speaking of bonds, I'm happy that Eugene and Rosita are talking again. We know that Eugene realized that he was only friends with her because he wanted a piece of ass, and realized what I wish a lot of people would realize: being friends with someone just so you can fuck them kind of makes you also a garbage human being. And I like that Rosita is trying to forgive him and open up communication. And now I'm kind of wondering if she's going to die from the stomach bug as she's trying to make amends. Speaking of the stomach bug, I'm so sorry about this, but I love seeing how they deal with sickness and all that in the apocalypse, post-apocalypse. Like we saw last episode with Ezekiel having a type of cancer that before the zombie apocalypse, the walker apocalypse, whatever you want to call it, 98% cure rate. But now in their worlds, you're fucked. And there's a lot of things that would be very curable in our modern world, which hasn't hit the apocalypse yet. So I also like that the stomach bug is just fucking people up. So we know in our world we have flu shots, and that usually protects you against the flu, whatever strains are the majority for the season, even though some fucking idiots don't get it. Even without insurance, you can get flu shots for free. You seriously can. Just Google it, get your shot. Not only for you, but for everybody else. So seeing them trying to deal with something like the flu with herbs and pre-industrial medicine is really cool. I would actually not be opposed to seeing more and more of that type of stuff. And now that they have more time to focus on these diseases, to see if they might try to bring back some of that modern technology. Obviously, a lot goes into chemo and all that, and having an oncologist survive that can do that would probably not work, but maybe eventually. And I'm all in for that. I'm sorry. I like seeing the rebuilding of society after the apocalypse. That's kind of my thing. Although, does anyone feel like that old woman is going to die of the flu in the middle of the night? She's going to become a walker and then attack the other patients in the hospital and just fuck it all up? That's the only thing I could think of. Kind of like, remember seasons ago, it's like a million seasons ago, in the prison when the boy got the flu and he died and then he became a walker. And some may say, oh, it's a rehash of that episode, but I guess you could say that about the flu every year in our world. It's a rehash. The flu and stomach bugs come around all the time. It's like that woman that freaked out on me and said that, how could I have a cold in summer? And I was like, you don't get a cold because you're cold. I don't know what to tell you. You can get it any time of year. Siddiq is definitely still dealing with his PTSD, and if you think that's also a rehash and you're tired of it, I think people in our world with PTSD are probably really tired of it too, but they still have to deal with it. So I love that we keep seeing him dealing with it over and over and over again, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does for treatment to get beyond it. I know what we would do in our time with what we have, but I don't know what they would do in the post-apocalypse. Speaking of him, can you not bring that baby around people with the flu? I was screaming in my mind the entire time, get the baby away from the sick people. Also, Dante flirts way too much, and he would not do well in our world with the Me Too movement. He would have been ripped to shreds already. Okay, moving on. I know Daryl shot down him and Connie being a thing, but maybe he's playing the field. Maybe he's trying to feel out these two ladies and see who he has a better opportunity with. Though, I definitely feel like Carol and Daryl have strong feelings for each other, and I completely understand a man and a woman can be friends without there being any funny stuff, sexual feelings and all that. I get the sexual tension from them. Carol was definitely nosing around in his relationship life, and Daryl definitely is hinting that he likes Carol, so I think they need to fuck. Though I love that she hid some of the things, like the zip tie, on her person and not in her bag because she knew Daryl was going to search through it, because her plan the entire time was to get a Whisperer to interrogate, to figure out what their plans are. And I'm happy that Daryl was able to figure that out very quickly. Kind of wondering at this point if Carol and Daryl are going to get together before Carol dies, because there's no way they killed Daryl off. It would be Carol before they killed Daryl. On the Whisperers, I wasn't a fan of Negan before he was imprisoned in the show. I liked him a lot better in the comics, and I was a bit disappointed how he was portrayed. This Negan is pretty awesome. I actually really enjoy this Negan post-imprisonment, and it's a joy to see him swinging his dick around and, doing his thing. Also to see that he's redeemed, because we know Negan was redeemed. We saw it last episode, so now I'm kind of wondering, because we know the arc Negan has in the comics when it comes to the Whisperers, but I'm wondering in the show, because they change a lot of arcs, they change a lot of plot points, I just to see what they do with him in the show. So there's part of me that thinks, okay, he does seem truly redeemed. So maybe this is a ploy to kill Alpha and Beta. But then there's this other part of me that goes, okay, maybe he really just wants to kill Beta and join with Alpha. Maybe he wants a new group to take over. He did seem like he was redeemed, but maybe he didn't have the plan to end the Whisperers, and he joins them, and then he sees them killing a baby or kids or something, and he has a fucking flip out and turns on them. I don't know. I just think we can't expect his comic arc to be what they do in the show, because they twist that stuff so much. So I'm really interested to see what they do with Negan and the Whisperers in the show. I kind of feel bad for Beta, though, because you can definitely tell he's rubbing Negan the wrong way, and Negan's not above getting rid of people that rub him the wrong way or getting in his way, whether it's to end the Whisperers or join the Whisperers or him to be the new Beta. I mean, he did mention, I've never tried kneeling before. Maybe he's thinking, let's give this a shot. And maybe he went down to his knees and he's like, man, I really like this. This is amazing. A weird question I know to ask. Did anyone feel like the music was weird when he was digging the hole? The music just seemed a little off. It kind of took me out of the whole episode at that point, or the scene, but it was fine, I guess. Wouldn't have been my pick, but, I'm not in charge of music, so. Okay, so let's take a vote. How many people die of the stomach bug, and how many of them turn into a walker in the middle of the night and cause chaos? I'm voting only one. It's the old lady. She chomps on some other people, and it's just a mess. I was thinking, I'm sorry, going back to that really quick. I'm gonna be done very soon, I promise you. Why, when they see how bad she's doing, why wouldn't they chain her to the bed? Be like, hey, this is just a precaution. We're just gonna tie you to the bed. With the whole, if you die, you become a walker thing. kind of seems the responsible thing to do. Maybe they did and I just didn't see it. I mean, that could be true. I watched it on my phone, and, you know, my phone's only like this or whatever, So let me know what you thought about this episode. Which were your favorite parts? And is that old lady gonna die? Like, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section down below. And by old lady die, I don't mean myself. I mean the lady in